Yeah, this is for, yeah. 'Cause last year I was switching in between, like the bunch of different programs on the same laptop, and this doesn't need to be placed because it's just for troubleshooting, and then like
Oh, but you're gonna the laptop. We have the adapter for this laptop just for the purpose of playing this back form. I don't know what your flow is. Whether you're looking to sort of talk, show things, and slides, and video.
Go upstairs and switch over
Oh, you're just trying to put it on? I think that's kind of So did everyone get some lunch? We got some food? Yeah. You know, I have to commend you guys. You're all looking pretty good considering we've hit you pretty hard since we first met you on Friday morning. But I'd say collectively you're all looking like you're surviving this pretty well. Yeah. Have you had a good weekend so far? Yeah. Great. So have we. We've really enjoyed it. I enjoyed my mix session in here. I met many of you yesterday, and I've been talking to some of the other faculty, and they said everything's been well attended, and your questions have been great. Your focus has been on point. So I congratulate you for that. It's a lot of incoming in a short amount of time, and some of these subjects are new to you, so it demands a little bit of attention. We're going to get going shortly with our keynote and presenting DJ Shortee. This is a complicated setup. We have a little niggle with the video, which we're working on, but we're going to get there quickly. So I just sort of ask your indulgence for the next few minutes. Did anyone attend some of the evening sessions last night? Did you go to the open recording session with Matthew Eller and some of those things? Well, I heard Matthew's band was a three-piece screaming rock band thing. So I don't know how that was. Was that pretty cool? Okay.
I mean,
Matthew's a rocker,
hold on,
so I
she's asking me
expected no
something.
less.
So,
Does anyone have any questions?
it's off.
Not a question in the house.
How was your day?
How was my day?
Oh.
Which day? This day or yesterday?
Both days.
Both days. My days are excellent. I really enjoy getting to meet some of you. You're all from different places and you have different ambitions. I had a lot of sidebar conversations about coming to Berkeley and maybe what you could do to prepare if you were interested in that. I talked to a bunch of people about offerings in the music technology area and music production and engineering specifically, so thank you for your good questions. Our contact information is available through the app, I'm assuming, and certainly you can Google us. We're easily findable, and if you do have questions when you get home or your families do, or whether it's something technical that we talked about in the workshop or something broad about Berkeley at large, we're certainly happy to be in touch. Some people have said, could you comment on some of my work? And the answer would be yes, time permitting. If you sent us a link to some tracks and you wanted a little bit of feedback, it's often not possible in a group setting like this, but when we have a little bit more space, if you sent me a mix and you said, hey, you know, I'm working on this, I think it's pretty good, what do you think? I'd be happy to answer you. So I extend that offer to you if you're interested in that. Yes?
It was,
What's my email? It's highly secretive.
yeah.
No.
But I mean, I just have it playing.
If you want me to spell it, I'll spell it. My last name is Jazzco. That's the confusing part.
Or you can do it.
It's rjazzco, my first initial, last name, at berkeley.edu, but Jazzco is spelled J-A-C-Z-K-O.
Just said it was.
It's the Hungarian problem. J-A-C-Z-K-O. So rjazzco at berkeley.edu. If you go to the app, you'll find my bio, you'll find my email there, so you don't necessarily have to remember it. And again, we're all over the Berkeley website, so you can Google us and find us.
Do you know Prince Charles' email?
Prince Charles will be PC Alexander. Prince Charles Alexander, PC Alexander at berkeley.edu.
Thank you.
So did some of you visit with Prince Charles, the Billboard Hot 100 thread?
Oh, no, I just want to
Yeah.
make sure they didn't.
Charles is a terror.
So that's
He's,
good.
you know, this is a Grammy-decorated engineer, producer. Charles has written the commercial record production minor curriculum for us. It's all about making commercial relevant music. And that really means in secret code, music that makes money. We want to sell things. We want to earn an income from our work in the arts. And the Billboard Hot 100 is a great venue for that. So that's something that's been very popular at Berkeley. As I said, it is a minor within music production and engineering. So if you have a special interest in understanding the construction of
You mean like,
modern tracks,
Mirror?
think
Yeah,
of
Mirror.
the
Oh,
top
yeah,
100, think
that's-
of Cardi B, think of whomever in that lane. That's a special construction. How to build those records is a certain construct. And Charles is very, very good at that. He's an
It's
excellent
just
educator as
duplicate
well.
these
So
displays.
he's also receptive to email,
what we
so if you
want.
reach out to him, I
Set
know that they'll
correctly.
respond to you. Any other thoughts, any other comments?
What other?
At the end, we do,
This
sorry
one?
again?
What's your favorite number?
My favorite number? 7.
But it said, yeah, it is 1 and 2. There's only,
What's your
You had
favorite?
it
there's only one.
You had it for a second,
I
it
can
changed.
say it.
Oh, come on.
No, it's.
All right. I just leave it out on me.
I saw
That's
the
no
image
fair.
that came down.
Right, and I was in there when the image started.
Yes, sir.
So I was just giving, I had.
My least favorite number? 9. No. It's weird.
I mean, it's on.
So Shorty tells me that Mars or Mercury is in retrograde,
Mercury.
Mercury is in retrograde? Okay.
Yeah.
So this is the reason we're having a little bit of technical difficulty with the video.
Yes, the stars are
The stars are in the wrong place. Although the moon last night was pretty banging.
back
You saw
up.
it up there. It was great.
Yeah,
Venus was
it
right
looked
next to
like
it. I
it took
thought, wow, this is a
seconds.
beautiful night in the city. It was pretty cool.
Probably because we're running through so much.
So at the end, and we'll re-announce this, maybe while we're punting just for a minute if you want to look at it. On the app, we have a little exit survey.
Camera's fine.
And any feedback that you have, positive or negative,
Cool.
we're certainly happy
And
to
you're recording the
capture
front.
your thoughts in the exit survey.
hopefully
We
video
really
feed.
appreciate it. We do look at these things, we take them seriously. We're aware of a few logistical things that we aim to tighten up every year. But if you have any thoughts, if you want to praise a faculty member, or if you say, gosh, I wish there were X, or I didn't get to do Y, let us know about that, because we do this every summer. You're the client. We build this to serve you the best that we possibly can, and we do take your comments seriously, and we do look at them. So if you look at that on the app, it's a little easier. In the past, we used to hand out paper. We can do this now from the comfort of your phone. Tony Brown over there, say hi to Tony. Tony is responsible for much of the logistics of this weekend, so I'd like to give Tony a special thank you. Thank you, Tony. The man is here on a Sunday when he could be doing other things at the beach, and it's making it rock for us, so I really appreciate it. Tony has some certificates of completion for you, so when you're done, you'll get a certificate. Tony, you'll just make them available on the table?
Yeah.
Okay. Are they all filled out by someone's name, so we paw through them, we find your name? Okay, great. We also have a bag of USB cards, which are our annual music production and engineering greatest hits of student work that's been uniquely recorded, mixed, mastered, and produced in our studios by seniors. So this is a great example of the caliber and the variety of work that we do in the department every year. Faculty nominate their student projects, and it's quite a point of honor to actually be selected to be on the CD. We call it a CD because we produced a physical CD for years. This year, people were saying to us, I don't have a way to play a CD. No one has it in their laptop. CDs are not in your automobile anymore, and no one has them at home. It's like, wow, I really feel old. I remember when CDs came out, and it was like a big deal. So CDs are dead. So what we've done instead is we've produced a USB card, which is a little business card shaped device. You pop it out, and all of the full res audio, artwork, and credits are on there. Please feel free to grab one of those. Those are for your taking, and you can enjoy that, and you can share it, you can rip it, and do whatever you like, and then enjoy that. So those are the things. Those are the exit sort of instructions. The survey, if you would, your certificate of completion, and the CD. I'm sorry, the USB card. Please take that as our gift, and they'll be checking with the crew here.
I know, it was working, so I came down.
He had it working a second ago and then it just stopped. Everything's set correctly here though. It's just
Okay.
something with this.
What do you think? Any 11th hour alerts we can make to get this up there?
Where?
I mean, your video is not shown.
Right, that's not my fault.
No, I understand. I'm not saying that. What else can we do? I mean, this is integral to the.
I understand.
to the deal.
It is the entire presentation. Like literally.
I mean, do we have to move it to another machine? Do we have to pull the assets on, pull it onto a?
No, it's not my fault. I swear. I mean, we can try to put it over there on this computer just to double check, but I'm pretty sure it's not. This is like
Yeah.
brand new.
Yeah.
And it's set to, this is the one that's video. That's another one.
Okay.
Sorry, sir.
So what do we think?
I mean, I can try to plug it into the other laptop.
Are there any other video monitors and projectors?
I mean, we could go grab a short throw projector from the media center or something. Could we grab it in another projector and just jack into it?
Yes.
I mean, at this point, it feels like we're grasping for salvaging what we're trying to do
Double
here.
check.
Do you have one in your department?
I could ask Tony to find out if they have someone in support. I don't specifically in MPE uploading one, but. Whoa! Oh! What? This is awesome.
Okay, so maybe we just need to unplug and plug.
You check the mirroring settings here.
Yeah, it's set to duplicate displays.
Do you want to restart it? Just because.
Just
You did get video there for a second.
Yeah, we got video.
That was encouraging.
Okay. You want me to restart?
Yeah. So my joke about technology is, it's complicated. And if this were easy, everyone would be doing it. So persevere. Every one of you in this room is going to be in a high pressure situation where your stuff doesn't work. And you need to be able to handle it with grace and also solve the problem. So that's what we're doing.
The restarting
And
here.
when in doubt, restart.
And then if just trying to see how I can get everything on here. If it is, it just doesn't like the HDMI input. We can't switch it. Jiggly, jiggly wire. Oh my goodness, it's the wire.
We're not even connected. It's all.
See, whatever you're doing with that wire is what.
Connector, that wire, this big extension, this connector.
It's the wire. Look, it's the wire. That's exactly what it is. It's always a faulty wire. Just letting you guys know. It's always.
Nothing. This is going directly out of your laptop.
Here, I think this is the pain
Yeah,
point here.
that's the pain point right there.
It's this guy.
Because when I
This is a bit.
it's this. This is also a pain point. Look, I'm also wiggling this. Are you
Yeah.
wiggling?
I'm wiggling.
Stop wiggling. See, it's this too. It's this little.
Again, Shannon, I know it's not optimal, but if we were to eliminate the extension in this little coupler,
Sure.
if we were to just try to go from the end of this into the adapter.
Yeah, I'm.
Just to get something
whatever
online?
It takes.
Let's just try that for a minute.
Yeah.
If that's stable, then maybe we have to suffer.
I mean, but I don't know if this little this white thing.
Yeah.
Or-
Okay, let's just try going from the white thing into this.
Okay, so. I swear it's gonna be worth it.
We're gonna put your laptop on.
Just make sure it works first before we do
Yeah,
everything
before you
else.
go through. Clean.
Clean. It is the wire.
Okay.
High five. Five.
Sorry.
I got my AV license. I finally got my AV license.
Give it up for Rob.
Wow.
Yeah, Rob.
Holy shit! Oh man. I'll give you 1 hour to cut that out.
Oh wait, no, there's.
It's always the wire.
It's always the wire. It really is.
I hate wires.
I do.
Do we need,
Everything's wireless.
sorry, do we need audio?
Oh. Well, yes, but it's supposed to be hooked into my mixer.
So maybe we can just grab audio straight out of here.
How do you normally
I
come?
have the cable.
Is there a headphone out?
I have to get it. Will it reach?
We probably have a little bit of play with the audio. This one.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's my power. That can plug over here. That's my laptop power.
That power. actually overcoming problems when you have them like this, especially in front of an audience, is an object lesson in professionalism, because everyone's a genius when everything works the first time. You plug it in, it's like you're a genius and it's all happening. Where the rubber meets the road is when things go screwy and you've got clients looking down on you, or 110 people sitting in the room waiting
No,
for
I
you to do
didn't do
something.
anything.
But we're almost there.
Oh,
There's something else going on. Now it doesn't look good.
oh no, no, that's the video. It's just a question. Here, I'll put up the.
Audio?
Oh, this has no audio. But we need to hear audio here.
Audio.
Let's hear some, Billy.
Yeah.
Where's the video?
I'm sorry, I'm actually autistic.
It was awesome.
Oh, right when you plugged it out, it started. Oh.
Takes about 10 seconds.
I know. We'll pass your laptop around. Everyone look at it.
It's just right when you took it out. Oh wait, it just did the input thing again. It keeps flashing that new light.
It does that when it senses movement here.
Oh. Well, because we didn't do anything and the lights came on.
And now go, that's the remote, choosing.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think the input is switching then.
Why don't we force the input, like tell it to wherever this is. Maybe see if that.
Yeah, I've done
And
that.
then you don't have another one of these wet We'll swap that out.
Right. No, I know.
What about the room?
No, no, he's got that right.
try that. Let's just pop this into your, let's just pop that in, just to see that if it wakes right up and says hello right away.
I mean, but I did that, it woke up because we moved the wire.
Yeah, so we move, yeah. Let's just-
For instance. Yeah, see that fires right up. I would say.
I'd say maybe we could start wrapping at the same time we could start moving content over.
Do you need a hard drive?
I have a hard drive. It's all on here. Got that. No idea.
They're just moving.
I don't think so.
All right, that's helpful.
I don't think it's this cable.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah,
So
it's
it's,
not
it's the
this,
same.
or that. Like,
What about, do we have any other cable to replace this? Because it looks like this is part of your problem. This cable coming. You don't have any other way to do that?
The other way was, and we connected the HDMI in that.
if it doesn't work with the Mac, it doesn't work with this, it doesn't work with this.
Seems like it's
It's
this.
only when we move the wire, so it's definitely the wire. We tried 3 laptops.
No.
It worked for a minute. It's the same thing.
Each one works for a second and then goes away because the wire is messed up.
This might be too long of a DVI to carry.
That could be it too. Do you have a LCD monitor or something bigger than? Can we get a monitor somewhere? We need something bigger.
You know,
than
the
a
other
laptop.
alternative is if we just get the short throw projector from like the media center, pull that over with this projector. I'm just worried. I mean, obviously we have to find solutions.
Because whatever he gave me this morning, why is that?
Was that the same
No,
one?
I don't think so.
John, previously we were using VGA.
Okay. Can we do that?
Well, actually, we tried it. Because in order to get to HDMI, all of our.
Let's just
All right,
do that.
yes.
Okay, we're feeling it.
I gotta go and switch it.
Okay, got it. And then we'll move this content over the.
Oh, suck it up. That'd be great.
Start off getting the video.
I mean, I also have.
Oh yeah, that'll work. And we've got a USB port.
Oh, okay, what?
That's USB. So you just give me
Okay, yeah. So, I was like, it's just City Hall. On my Thunderbolt, or not mine, that's why I call it that. Okay,
There you go. Bada bing, bada boom.
so that cable, and now
Analog, baby, go analog.
analog. Why would, well, so what is this?
same thing.
I can plug it into my laptop. What is this?
That's the same USB-C.
Yeah, I have two.
You want to try it again?
Yes, I would love to use my laptop.
Try one more time. Okay, we're very close.
I'm like, what is
We're very close. Try that. Just mount it. No, I have a million pieces of that.
I know you do. Takes a minute, right?
There it is.
So,
Okay.
not full screen, but that's fine.
Is this let's
And then I don't
yours
need
and
to-
dismount that. Okay, let's get your sound back. Here's your sound. Let's check. We're all good. Okay, all good. Here you go.
Whoa.
Check the audio.
Alright, check the audio.
Okay. So I think we're good?
Yes.
What about your headset? Guys, do we have her lavalier? Yeah? Can we hear that?
You. I knew it was the cable.
Oh, right. Oh, my God. I'm sorry to make you endure that. That kind of sucks. I'll be honest with you.
It really sucked for me. And us up here
What
too.
you never
so.
want to do to your guests is put them behind the 8 ball and make them feel uncomfortable and rattled. And Shannon's come a long way to be with us, and she's prepared mightily for this presentation. In fact, you were up till 5 in the morning. Sort of
I was.
working on this. So
Wow,
I'm
wow,
impressed. Shannon Ames Bruno, aka DJ Shortee, is a terror as an educator, as an entrepreneur, as a DJ, as a producer, an actress, a brand into yourself, which you're going to talk about today. I have so much profound respect for Shannon. We've invited her several times just because she's the most fun to hang out with and her skills are wicked. So please, I'll stop talking. A warm round of applause for DJ Shortee.
I am Shortee.
Yeah, and I'ma do it like this.
It's over. But y'all knew that. Y'all knew that.
Thank you guys so much. And thank you, Berkeley, for bringing me out again. This is so much fun. Welcome to Berkeley. Are you guys having fun this weekend? Did you guys have a blast? Yes. Oh, come on. Did you have fun this week? You're at Berkeley. Come on. This is amazing. I didn't get to go to school here. So you guys are having this amazing opportunity that I never had. And so I'm going to show you a little bit about my career, as well as a few other people that I know, my friends and counterparts. So you're going to get to see a lot of different careers in the industry. But first I want to know, how many DJs do we have in this room? All right, we got at least 2. And how many wannabe DJs? Like, you're interested in it? I know you are. I know some, come on, more people were in my class. Did I scare you off? Oh, okay, cool. So how many people kind of understand, at least generally, what a DJ does? Okay. So a DJ plays music, right, and rocks a party for people, right? Do you think, how many people think of a DJ as a musician? Thank you, actually, because like 10 years ago, there would have been no hands raised. Yes, and especially, so when you're DJing, like, and I'm going to go into this a little bit later, but when you're mixing and rocking a party, you're more playing other people's music or you're playing your own music, but on vinyl, and you're kind of mixing it, but you're not actually playing it. Like, how many people play instruments in here? Right, yes, me too. So the DJing isn't actually playing an instrument until you start scratching. Okay, so once you start scratching, like, that didn't exist on the record before I just did it, right? So I played it as an instrument. So that's when the DJ becomes a musician. And then when you see like the beat juggling, that's what I was doing before with the body tricks and like rocking the beats and shuffling them up and stuff. That's kind of like live remixing, and so it's like a merging of playing an instrument and sort of playing other people's music. So now that we have that defined, let's make sure we have video again. Oh no. Oh my God. Yes, okay, good. Come on, universe, we just need to make it through this next hour. Okay, so I spent hours and hours and hours making videos for you guys, so I'm really glad that we got it going. So what does a multi-passionate career in this industry look like? It's more than one, okay? And here's a sort of short list. We got musician, DJ, turntablist, teacher, music producer, record label, music licensing agent, audio editor, sound designer, music director, mastering engineer, sound technician, roadie, video editor, graphic designer, web designer, animator, online marketer, social media manager, artist manager, tour manager, booking agent, publicist, content creator, writer, merch designer, clothing designer, host, competition judge, influencer, sound technician, keynote presenter, inspirational speaker, battle DJ, nightclub DJ, festival DJ, sports events DJ, celebrity DJ, corporate brand DJ, resident DJ, international DJ, artist backup DJ, background DJ, mobile DJ, wedding DJ, radio DJ, TV and film DJ, actor, voiceover actor, screenwriter, director, TV film producer, creative entrepreneur, lifelong learner, and many more. How many people do you think that is? One, that's why singer-songwriter's not on there, because you don't want to hear me sing. Or dancer, because, I might get down a little bit, but that's about it. So there's obviously a lot of other careers in the industry, but it's crazy to look at that list. And when I was making that list, I was like, geez. And you wear a lot of hats. Okay? You wear a lot of hats in the industry. And so that's why I want you to, really, as I take you through this presentation, I'm going to take you through some of my early years, starting at the beginning. And I want you to sort of, think of your own lives up till now, right? And think about all your influences up until now. And because that's all going to play a part later. Okay, so it's all going to connect. And you may start seeing it now, but you're really going to see it when you're my age. And don't ask me how old I am. Okay, so starting, and also people connect, and you're going to see the common threads with that. So born in a year I will not mention. This is me. My dad was a composer also, and a musician. And so he got me on the keys early. So these were like me with my first record player. I think that's a Cinderella picture vinyl. And then these are my first records. So the Shortee thing clearly started early. Sleeping Beauty was a big thing for me. Free to Be You and Me. You guys, everyone, that should be required listening for everyone, especially our president. Annie was a major influence. Wonder Woman, huge influence. And then this is me. I was always a performer ever since I was young. And what is this? Oh, okay. So around this time, some of my first musical influences, I love the song I Love Rock and Roll. This was around 1981, so we're getting a little older here. How many people like Joan Jett or have heard of Joan Jett? Okay, well, there's this new documentary that she just put out called Bad Reputation. You guys should all watch it. It's amazing. And so I cut together a little video trailer of it just to give you, so I wanted to give you a little glimpse into her life because she was an inspiration for me when I was really young. But now going back and looking at her career, I'm like, oh my gosh. It was, especially for women too. So shout out to the ladies in the room. Okay. And all the men who love them. So let's get, hold on. I need audio. We got it. All right, here we go.
When I was 13, I asked my parents for a guitar for Christmas. And then I went and took a lesson, and the guy said, girls don't play rock and roll. And I said, whoa. 1, 2, 3, 4. I was growing up in the 70s in Hollywood. I wanted to form an all-girl band, the Runaways.
Those are badass rock songs.
Joan Jett didn't want to be Joni Mitchell. Joan wanted to rock.
I didn't think it would be such a big deal for a girl to play rock and roll, but Rolling Stone hated the Runaways.
The guy just slammed them. The music scene was a total boys' club.
What Jimi Hendrix said about how women playing rock and roll will be looked at like aliens is absolutely true. The tables turned where it went from cute, sweet, to slut. Yeah! I've had my head split open by a beer bottle, a rib cracked, a battery thrown at me. I'm lucky I'm still here. You were always 1 foot in the gutter and 1 foot in possible stardom. We had to fight on. I realized I need to write these songs.
And that was the beginning of Black Art Records.
It's so valuable to have something to fight against.
She really was the cement that kept things going.
Ladies and gentlemen, Joan Jett.
Tell me I can't do something, you know, I'm gonna be doing it.
So why should I care about a bad reputation? Anyway, oh no.
That should be required watching for everyone in this room. It's so inspirational just to see her career and how she pushed through so many boundaries. And like she says something in the documentary that really pissed me off. And it's so cool that because she helped pioneer through this, which was back in that day, it was like the radio. It was a rule that you couldn't play more than one female artist in an hour. The rest had to be men. Okay, so it's women like her and artists like her that are pushing through boundaries, and it happens across all genders and everything like that. But I just wanted to show that as an example and a little bit of inspiration. So if you're looking for a jolt of inspiration, definitely check out that documentary. So next up, back to me, we got a little bit more performing here. So I'm getting older. I got my sister in on the act, and we would subject my parents and grandparents to performances. And so here's another influence. So now we're around 1986. Huge influence. And this is a funny story because I was really into Run DMC. How many people know Run DMC? Okay, good. And so I asked for a Run DMC tape, because that's what it was back then, cassette tape for Christmas, and I got the Beastie Boys, and I'm like, who are these white guys? Like, that's but I'm so glad I did, because they're awesome. And also, this was around like 6th grade, and like, did you guys do like field day in elementary school and stuff like that and stuff? Well, we had names for all our teams, and we were the Brass Monkeys. So, which is this song. This was on Soul Train. How many people know Soul Train? Brass monkey, that monkey monkey. Brass monkey junkie, that monkey monkey. Brass monkey, that's what it means. Brass monkey, here's how you feel. All right, so they rock. And they had a really, I now looking back at my influence, there's a lot of rock, hip hop merged together, and then electronic dance music a little bit later. And so you're going to see that common thread. And here's an example of that. Shout out to Rick Rubin as well, because we were talking about him last night at dinner. But he helped produce this. This was huge for me, because it was like I was into rock and roll, I was into hip hop, and this was like the first like mashup. You know, you guys heard of mashups? Right? When you're mashing up 2 genres or 2 songs. How many people know this song? Good, good. And the video was spectacular, too, the way they told the story. Like the advent of MTV too. It's like right around that time, and so that's one of the reasons why these albums were so popular, is because people could finally see them. So y'all know this song. So I'm gonna switch it up. So back to me. So this is my age when this came out. I was a total band geek. I started playing drums when I was 7. And I played piano, I played trumpet in the summer band, I was in the marching band, but this is middle school, so 7th grade, rather. And so I'm on the marimba there, and then here's me in summer band. I'm in the middle here playing the trumpet. And then back in the drum section, percussionists, they always stuck me on the bells. It was so annoying because I just wanted to beat on the drums. And actually, I did try violin for a little bit, And I was like really wanting a drum set and like an actual drum. All I had was a practice pad. And so I was learning on the violin, and it was so bad that my parents asked me to stop practicing. And they finally got me a drum, and so I could finally make noise. But they stuck me on the bells and band, which really frustrated me. And you can tell by the look on my face in that photo. These pictures are a little squished, but hopefully you're getting the vibe. All right, so yeah, so I finally got on the drums. This blurry picture of me in marching band, symphonic band, made fun of some people in that photo, me in the marching band. So how many people were in the band? I'm sure like so many people in this room. How many people in marching band? Oh, not that many. Oh, interesting. Cool. Yeah, it's cool in some schools. It was not cool in my school. It was nerdy, but I loved it. This is my first headshot. So I was also into theater and acting at the time. I was also into martial arts. I was studying martial arts. I eventually got my black belt when I was a senior and started teaching. And that was my first foray into teaching and educating people. And I've also carried the lessons that I took from teaching martial arts into teaching music and structuring my curriculum and stuff like that. So here's another influence. So around that time in high school, I went from I was into Metallica and Megadeth and Iron Maiden and Anthrax and like some hip hop stuff and stuff like that. And then I went hippie. I just totally hippied out. And I got really into the Grateful Dead. And so here's just a little bit of an experience. I tried to give you the experience that I had. I used to follow them, meaning go to their shows, follow their shows around. And this is when Jerry Garcia was still alive. And I was actually at this show. This was awesome. This was in 93. How many people know of the Grateful Dead in here? Cool. How many people like the Grateful Dead? Cool, almost as many. And it was just like it was one of the reasons why I love their shows. It was just like a whole experience. It wasn't just going to a concert. You know, like it was like there was a whole culture around it, which I like really got into. And you could just hang out in the parking lot and experience the culture, not even go into the show. But you wanted to go into the show. So, okay, that's the Grateful Dead. This was another huge influence on me, Fish. And I'm going to give them a whole 3 minutes so you can hear this. How many Fish heads do we have in here? Anyone? Good. This is more than last year. There was like no one that knew who they were. So Fish is a jam band, like the Grateful Dead. The Grateful Dead is a jam band, but they're way more modern. And they fuse so many different influences in their music. This is one of my favorite songs. Llama, by the way. How many people know this song? Later years is they put everyone light show is insane. Pretty dope, huh? How many people like that? That was pretty sick. I don't know. I like it. Okay, so moving on. Then I got into raving, and it's actually kind of the same time period, and both cultures are very similar. So like the Grateful Dead, Fish Head scene, it's like plur, love, happiness, we all love each other, dope music, other stuff. And then same with raves. And so this is a song that was super hot at the time when I got into raving. I started getting into it in high school and then into college. This is Josh Wink, Higher State of Consciousness. Does anyone know who Josh Wink is? Oh, cool. I'm introducing. Okay, so these are pictures of like me and my friends. A lot of these pictures. That's Rabbit in the Moon, great live act. Scott Henry, one of my favorite DJs back then. Kyoki. About the music, especially back then. That's me. That face is just priceless. Okay, so there's me. So now I'm in college, right? So I'm around your age or getting, right after. And I was in a punk rock band, and our band's name was Food, and our slogan was Yum. And we made T-shirts and everything like that. Actually, they had a different drummer. It was actually called Hair Club for Men, and then we changed the name when they brought me in. I don't know why. I guess it could have still been called that, but that's me on my drums. Okay, so up until now, yeah, I was into raves. Yeah, I was into hip hop a little bit, and definitely into rock and roll and stuff. And so I knew of the DJ, but I never respected the DJ because I was a traditional musician, right? I was snobby. I was like, I can read music. I have traditional training. I'm classically trained. Like, wiki, that's so easy. Anyone can do that. I play a real instrument. What is this? But I would enjoy the raves, but I just didn't respect them as musicians, right? Until one day my friend called me and he was like, yo, you have to come over to my house. I have a friend visiting and he's scratching in my living room. And I was like, that's so easy. Whatever, I'm not gonna waste my time. He's like, no, come over, check this out. So I came over and there was this guy scratching in my friend's living room, and he was amazing. Like, he was doing all these patterns or these rhythms that I couldn't even play on my drums, half of them, and like, I just was like, oh my gosh, that's a percussion. I was instantly related it to a percussion instrument. And then I was like, ooh, you're kind of cute, He had dreads, and back then, they were little short dreads. I had a dread fetish back then. Remember, I was also a hippie. So that's him. A little Puerto Rican guy. Actually, he's not little, but so this is DJ Faust, okay? And he's the first person I ever saw scratching, right? So, and he'd do all these tricks, right? And so, look how cute he is, right? So I was playing in my punk rock band, And at a college house party that night after I saw him scratching, and he was standing behind me, behind my drums the whole time I was playing, and I could feel like a presence of someone there, and I'm playing, I'm like, this is weird. I'm playing, why are you here? Okay, and then I realized, oh, it's a guy. Oh, okay, I got to do really good. And then so afterwards, he came up to me, and he's like, "You're a really good drummer. You're really dope." And I was like, "Dude, you're an amazing scratch DJ. How do you do that?" And he was like, "Oh, well, it's just like a percussion instrument. I can teach you if you want to learn." And so, like a month later. He moved in with his turntables. So if it was a pickup line, it worked. And then, there we are at that time. So cute. Babies. And we got married. Later, in 2001, right? We had a first scratch before our first dance. This was our first scratch. This is DJing Z-Trip too in there. It's like a turntable band. He's rocking the drums on one deck, and I'm scratching, the lead on the other.
I have seen it all.
So yeah.
We're just getting started, people.
So let me get out of here for a second. So that was our first scratch. Pretty cool. And our wedding looked like this. Come on. There we go. How many people know Z-Trip? Z-Trip? DJ Z-Trip? He DJ'd our wedding. He's LL Cool J's DJ. He was also the DJ for Linkin Park. You guys know Linkin Park. That's my aunt. So after we got up and did our first scratch, we brought up everyone. So my aunt got on, our little sisters and cousins and stuff. That's Bobby's dad, DJ Faust. His name's Bobby. That's his dad. That's my cousin. And then, so we had a friend who was a painter that we used to do shows with outside of our wedding. And so he painted at our wedding, and he gave us the painting, and so that's the painting. His name is Doze. He's original Rocksteady crew member. You guys know the Rocksteady crew, B-boy crew? It's a B-boy, old school B-boy crew, very influential. Okay, so now we're out of the early years. Let's get to the good stuff. First of all, we got mixed DJ. So this was my first mixer, my first DJ mixer. It's actually a mixer that I bought Bobby. When I say Bobby, that's DJ Faust. That's his real name. Because he had two turntables. He moved in with his turntables, but his mixer was broken. So I got like the cheapest mixer I could find because I was broke. I was in college. It was this little Gemini mixer. And so there's our turntables, and now you can really see the scale of the mixer. Really small, but it worked. And it was great, and that's me learning how to mix, right? And it was cool until I had cats at that time. I still have cats. Total cat lady, by the way. And one of my cats peed in the mixer. So we had to get another mixer. So we got this mixer, and Bobby rigged the fader so it was good for scratching, because back then we didn't have like all this great technology, so it was much harder to scratch back then. Okay, so now we're getting into touring, right? As an international DJ, my first European tour was put on by this guy, Christoph Linder. Love him, great guy. Took us all over Germany and Europe and stuff like that. So it's really dope. And so this is our first European tour. So Faust and I would play on 4 turntables together. and we still do. And so we would perform and do stuff like that. So you can see all the turntables there. That's in Belgium. Okay, so then, fast forward to a little later in life. I had been all over Europe at this time. I had been all over Asia, Africa, South Africa, Canada, North America, South America. But I had been to the UK to play hip hop, but I'd never been to the UK to play drum and bass. And so I was also really into drum and bass. And that was my passion. And how many people know what drum and bass is in here? Okay, you're gonna hear a little bit in a second. But so that genre is very, very popular in the UK and Europe, but super popular in the UK. Not very much in the US. So the place to tour was the UK. This was the guy that booked my first UK tour. Do you notice a theme with my tour managers and their t-shirts? When I was going through these pictures, I was like, But so the way he found me, I was performing at this Winter Music Conference. It's a big music conference in Miami every year. It's for mostly electronic dance music, kind of merges with Spring Break as well. So I was doing a demo for Serato, which is a DJ software program, and that guy was sitting, and you can see he's like watching me. Another guy like sitting behind, like watching. But I was already married at this point, so he had no chance. But anyway, but he did take me on tour, which was awesome. And his name was Wilf. William is his real name, but his nickname was Wilf. And so this is me on my first UK tour, right? So this is just a little montage of us traveling around the world and doing our thing. So when I play solo, I'm DJ Shortee. And when Faust and I play and produce together, we're Urban Assault, okay? So there's some pictures of both of us in here as well. And I play a lot of different genres of music. So my passion is like drum and bass, electronic dance music, electro house, like bass music, trap, glitch hop. But there's a lot of money in top 40. So I play top 40 and hip hop as well too. And so over my career, I played pretty much every genre. I played jazz, funk, soul, reggae, dancehall. So it pays to be versatile. That's our studio. And this song, I run a record label too, which you'll see in a second. This song was produced by one of our artists, Masher. It's called 787. It's not out yet, so you guys get a little preview. So, yes. So next up, let's see, where are we? Okay, so now, in addition to being a mixed DJ, right, and touring in my own right, and with Bobby, DJ Faust, as Urban Assault, I've also been a backup DJ, meaning backing up an MC, a vocalist, right? I've worked with a ton of different artists, but I chose this tour to show you guys. I made this little montage for you, and it was called the Weeby Girls Tour. It was with it was all females, and we went all over Europe. And so it was a hip-hop tour, basically, but it was a lot of different genres of hip-hop. So we have DJ Invincible. MC, sorry. Eternia, MC Eternia. Stacey Epps, she's from Atlanta. You know who she is, right? Bahamadia. How many people know Bahamadia? Nobody? Roxanne Shante. Old school. Biz Markie, Melly Mel. She was with the Juice Crew. You guys know the Juice Crew? Old school. Oh gosh, you guys got to
What
Google.
people notice from the performance and actually
Educate,
what we have
right here.
been told is that it's unlike any show that they've ever seen before because you are actually covering all genres of hip hop.
So I would back all of them. All the MCs, I was their DJ. And then I had a little showcase myself.
It's so simple. I'm like the riddle is as easy as on the 1, 2, 3. Other terms, the names you see behind me are so you. It's only you in the back and in the middle and the front, you.
So when you're there, whether it's your positive hip hop, whether it's your old school hip hop, you know, whether it's your political hip hop, we cover everything. Therefore, there's no one in the crowd or in the audience who is not satisfied and does not see their form of hip hop up there, even if you're a DJ.
DJ Shortee on the 1s and 2s represent LA and all that.
It was so cold that night. Have you ever tried to play an instrument outside? It was crazy. That was in the Czech Republic, I think. How many people know the Beat Nuts? Beat Nuts, this is Beat Nuts, watch out now. You know everything. You're always raising your hand.
So we literally come to really do a whole party. So we're an evening's event, not just a performance.
Right about now, we're going to bring out the Queen's Bridge, the original improvised queen of hip-hop, traditional hip-hop. Roxanne Shortee, make some noise!
You guys know Bismarcky? Anyone even know who Bismarcky is? Okay, this is old school hip hop. She was a pioneer for women in old school hip hop. There's a documentary about her on Netflix, so you can check out about her life. But props to Roxanne.
That's what I'm talking about. She is incredible. This is an all-female tour. Let's keep it moving. Some people call me Shining, some people call me Rock. And those who try to diss, I just knocks them out the box. Cause I'm Shortee and y'all know the routine. So here we go again. So all hail the queen. I left you for a while, but it was worth the wait. Because it gave me just enough time to create a funky rhythm that's guaranteed to move the world. Have the party people screaming out, oh, girl. This is practice.
So I would practice whenever I could on this tour. Which was rare that I could get in a place with turntables.
And getting to know all the girls, I didn't expect to bond as closely as I have. I feel like I've made some lifelong friends, and that's not something that I had expected.
Representing the true identity and voice and diversity, the female voice of hip-hop globally, you know what I'm saying? Y'all make some noise for the chicks in hip-hop. That's what's up.
Yeah. So now, as you can kind of see, like, a tour and working with artists isn't just about the performance. It's also about the relationships that you build. And I put that little piece of me saying what I said in there as I didn't expect to bond with them, because as a DJ, especially around that time, that was like around 2008, it was like, you're the DJ, you're in the back. MCs are in the front, and they would clash a lot. It wasn't less of a collaboration. Like, it was cool if you could collaborate, but it was rare. And so I was like, oh, I'm going on this tour with a bunch of MCs. What am I going to do? I'm the only DJ. Who am I going to talk to? And I just bonded with all of them because they're people. And so it's all about your mindset. And once I shifted my mindset, it was amazing, and it was an amazing experience. And I've played for many after that. So, corporate DJ, corporate brand DJ. Yes, I was Playboy's 50th anniversary tour DJ. I am not a Playmate. I was the most clothed female on the tour. And the way I got this gig, I was performing at a trade show called the NAMM Convention, and I did an after party, and there was nobody there, and I was just playing as if it was a packed audience, but there was nobody there, or so I thought. There was actually one girl there, and she had a gig for Playboy that she couldn't do, and she's like, I've never seen a female DJ with skills like you. I would never pass off my gig to anyone else, but I can't do it. She was actually playing for Dustin Hoffman, so I would take that gig. But so she gave me the Playboy gig, which then, it was a one-off gig, but then I parlayed it into the tour. And actually, the 50th anniversary Playmate became a DJ around the time of the production of the magazine and the tour, and they were going to have her be the DJ on the tour, but then they realized that she didn't really have the skills. So then they hired me. Ironically, a few years later, I was teaching at the Scratch DJ Academy, which is a DJ school, and the 50th anniversary Playmate, Colleen Shannon, came in and took private lessons from me, and I taught her how to scratch. But I took her gig first, which I appreciate. She didn't need it. She's doing fine. But yeah, so this was Playboy, and whatever you think about Playboy, you know, as in terms of their brand and how you feel, just set that aside for a second and just take in part that, hey, yeah, they appreciate beautiful women, obviously, but they wanted somebody with skill. So it wasn't all about tits and booty, you know what I mean? I'm cute, but, you know. And the reason why the Hollywood picture is at the end is because I was living in Atlanta at the time with my husband, and we were trying to move out to LA for so long, and we'd save up the money, and then something would happen. We'd save up the money, and something would happen. And this tour allowed me and my husband to then move across country to LA, and that was in 2004. So, and we've lived in LA ever since. It's a huge opportunity. Sports DJ. USA Women's Soccer. Hello, they just won the World Cup again. I'm the first female DJ to ever play for USA Soccer at all, men's or women's. This was a Tournament of Nations. I'm on the field. I filmed this. This is how close my DJ set was. Yeah, so it's like so close. The ball would like come. I'm like, my turntables. Yeah, amazing experience though, and so inspiring as a female to see these beasts on the field. I mean, Megan Rapinoe. Oh my God, you guys like women's soccer? Anyone here women's soccer fans? Amazing, killed it. I call her Brienne of Tarth. Game of Thrones, because she reminds me of Brienne. She's so small, but she's awesome. So massive stadiums, great opportunity. Totally different type of gig. Not a nightclub at all, right? But a great experience. So, yay USA Soccer. Just give it up for the girls team. I'm so proud of them. Okay. Also, radio DJ. I was the first female to ever be a power mixer on the biggest hip-hop station in LA, which was Power 106. That's our DJ setup, right? So it's live mixing, which is rare for radio. And then you got your radio personalities, which is different. I wasn't a personality. I'd get on the mic a little bit, but I was all about the mix. So that's a radio personality right there. So you can see the inner workings of the radio station, which was cool. Great opportunity, total boys club, okay? I love men, I married one, so not knocking the guys or anything. But it was a total boys club, and so like we'd have these meetings, and there'd be like, okay, what? And we'd pick the songs for the playlist or whatever, and they'd be like, oh, we gotta play put some stuff in for the girls, and it would be ballads, and I'm like, girls want hard beats, girls like beats, you know. So it was always hard to get my voice heard, but it was a great experience.
Somebody please put your hands up.
Okay, so I'm gonna shift from me for a second because I could show you tons of my performances and stuff. But I'm showing you this guy because he was he's a friend of mine and a huge inspiration. Also the MC. I've worked with this MC before. His name is Tom Piper. But Andy C. How many people know who Andy C. is? Okay, one, two, maybe a half. I don't know. Drum and bass, like my all-time favorite drum and bass DJ. I just listen to his mixes to figure out, because mixing drum and bass is a lot different than mixing other styles of music. Each style of music has their own nuances, right? Drum and bass is known for double drops and stuff like that. So I just wanted to show you this.
And give a big Rampage welcome to the one and only DJ Andy C.
So in America, super small scene. In Europe, because like very few people in here even know what drum and bass is, or like it. This is Belgium. It's the biggest drum and bass festival in the world. It's called Rampage.
Oh my God!
This is sick. So dope. It's massive, right? Double dropping right here. And so now, up until this point, all this stuff I've shown you so far, can you start to piece together my influences that led me here? We got the rock, we got the rave, the beats, the energy, all that stuff. So a double drop is when both like a song builds up and it drops, and a song builds up and it drops, in electronic dance music, when you mix them together and they drop together, that's a double drop, and that comes from drum and bass. It's gonna happen right now. He's switching between the bass lines. Okay, so here's an example of a double drop. So when a DJ's playing, I should probably put headphones on. They gotta beat match the song first. So this is the pitch control. It allows me to control the speed of the turntable. Slow, fast, right? I can key lock it in here, my software, so it keeps the key. Okay, so I have it beat matched. Now I'm fading it up. Double drop. You hear both, I turned one bass down and this bass is up and I can switch. You hear it switching? And now I'm gonna fade this out. Next song. Beat match. Gonna drop it in. Next song. Notice how quick the mixing is. Beat matching still. Granted, a lot of drum and bass is pressed around the same speed, so I'm not having to like move the pitch a lot, you know? Now I'm blending in the next song. So it's called drum and bass for a reason. There's a lot of drums, a lot of bass. I don't know if you can hear all the bass in here, but. So we got one more double drop for you. So right now I'm mixing it, beat matching it in the headphones before I bring it up. Now I just dropped it in, but not all the way up, right? So I'm fading it. See if you can hear it coming in. The keys are over here. Double drop, here we go. Switching the bass. Bass line's over here. Bass line's over here. Bass line's over here. Okay? So you get the idea, right? Cool? Awesome. Okay, so have I converted any people to drum and bass yet? Anyone? How many people like heavy metal in here? Heavy metal? Punk rock? Anything hard rock, anything like that. The drum and bass is like the bastard child of electronic dance music, and it's like that's where pretty much where how I correlate it in the electronic dance music scene. It's like the metal. Okay, TV DJ. Whoops. Hold on. Need some audio. Okay.
What up, folks? My name is DJ Shortee. It's Fabulous Friday. Please welcome Miss Tyra Banks.
You guys know who Tyra is, right? This was her show, Tyra Banks' show. I don't know if it's still on, actually. But I was DJ on her Fabulous Friday episodes. This was the first episode.
I like to throw a party on my show, and I'm going to make this my very first Fabulous Friday. We got DJ Shortee on the turntable.
I think Nick Cannon was on this episode. It was pre-Mariah. They were talking about, he was like, I'm dating somebody new. It was Mariah, actually. There he is. And they wanted to make it like a dance party. Okay, so that's the Tyra Banks show. Next up, we have
Hey, party people, there's an all-new Corolla in town.
Toyota Corolla.
An aggressive LED headlight standard upgrade to
So, this was my first
6.1-inch touchscreen
commercial
display.
acting gig because they had no sound coming. We had to fake it. It was so cheesy.
Standard. A sharp new interior. MPG you can count on. More legroom than ever. Available moonroof. The choice is yours. Toyota.
But it was a great opportunity because this got me my SAG card, my Screen Actors Guild. It got me into that. So as an actor, I used DJing to get me, give me opportunities like that. So if you're multi-passionate, you have other interests, see how one interest can help the other interest. Okay, and then Arsenio.
Have a seat, everybody. Hey, DJ Shortee, how you doing? You know what? You look like a really young soccer mom. I wouldn't expect, if I saw you in the mall, that you were a DJ. How did you get into this?
Well, I was a drummer. I started out as a drummer in a punk rock band, and I was in college, and I was into going to hip-hop shows and raves, but I never really respected the DJ as a musician. I was like, wicked, that's so easy. Anyone can do that.
Yeah.
And then my boy was like, yo, you got to come over to my house. I got my friend. He's scratching in my living room. So I went over, and I saw this guy, and he was amazing. He completely blew my mind, and he was like, yo, you could learn really easy. Let me teach you. He was also kind of hitting on me. Yeah. And 19 years later, we're married.
Oh, really? Cool. Yes.
There.
Where is he? Raise your hand, sir. Hey, there he is. Yes.
He was so pissed that I called him out. But this is one of my all-time favorite DJ gigs ever not because it was on TV and not because of Arsenio, although I love Arsenio, but the Posse 2.0 is an amazing funk band, and I'm so into funk, and scratching with them, like as a musician, I was just jamming with the band, and jamming with a funk band is like my ultimate. Like if I could do that all day, every day, I would do that. So that's why this was one of my all-time favorite gigs. Okay, now to the turntablist. So, Scratch. This is a documentary on turntablism. It was filmed in 1999. Check it out if you're interested in turntablism. Here's a little trailer for you.
Here's a little story that must be told. Here's a little story that must be told.
This one particular day when I came home from school, I usually go home and practice, and I was playing music a little bit too loud, and my mom's came and banged on the door, boom, 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 boom. If you don't cut that music down, you're gonna have to cut it off. So while she was in the doorway, screaming at me, I was still holding the record and rubbing the record back and forth. When she left, I was like, that's a pretty good idea. So when she left, I experimented with it, a couple of months, a couple of weeks, different records. And then when I was ready, we gave a party, and that's when I first introduced the scratch.
What this is all about is the art of mixing. It's analog. It's right in front of you. They don't need a delay line. They're creating delays with beat juggling or with moving the fader in certain ways to stagger things and to stutter things and to manipulate time with your hands.
That's me, obviously.
My dad's a professional musician. He wrote the Have a Coke and a Smile jingle. I don't know if you remember that, but
So I get a lot of my musical background from that. I had like a traditional music upbringing. I was always in the band. I played piano and drums, and started drums when I was 7. And just all through high school, marching band, snare drum, I can read music, I played trumpet. But with the scratching, I had just heard like, wicka, wicka, you know, like really easy, simple stuff. I was like, oh, anyone can do that. But then I saw him, and he's like doing all these crazy tricks and all these patterns that some I can't even play on the drums. And I was just like, oh my gosh, I gotta learn how to do that. And he pushed me, and a month after dating, he moved in, and we've been together for the last 4 years. The turntables moved in with him, and I stopped making fun of it.
The first time I heard scratching, really, probably was like Rocket. It was just like so different and just such a weird sound.
Ladies and gentlemen,
So you guys know Herbie Hancock's Rocket? Okay, that's what he's talking about. And that was when it was on MTV. So it was like I think it was like the first video or one of the first videos on MTV. So it was pretty big deal to be exposed to that. So at this time, I was living in Atlanta with Bobby and my cats, still had cats. And we were in a crew called Third World Citizens, and we would do these turntable band performances basically on like 6, 8 turntables. And it was with Faust, Craze, who's DMC champion, big champion, world champion, Clever, Shotgun, T-Rock, King James. And these were us doing our shows. This is Craze before he won the first championship. This is how we would practice. We just like put turntables like crazy in our living room. It's not very organized, but it worked. So here we are, and this is me and Craze. And so now, this was the mixer that everybody, like we wanted, Bobby and I wanted. Everyone had it before us, and we finally got one. This was the mixer to have if you were a turntablist back then. And so there's just me practicing. There's me with Qbert. How many people know DJ Qbert? Okay, he's like lauded as like the best scratcher in the universe, basically. I'll show you a tiny clip of him. So he's like a scratch musician. I wouldn't even consider him a DJ, even though he's DJ. He can mix and stuff, but only because people will just book him for to scratch for an hour. But before I show you that, this is Craze when he battled in his first battle, and we all thought he was going to win. First DMC battle. DMC is the biggest world champion DJ battle ever, and so if you can win this, like, you're amazing as a battle DJ, and it'll catapult your career. We all thought he was going to win. He was favored to win and everything, but he didn't. He was beat by this guy. Do you know who this is? This is A-Track. How many people know DJ A-Track? Okay, he's from Canada, right. He looks like 4 years old in this photo, but he's actually 15, I think. And back then, though, no one that young had won DMC. So he took everyone by surprise. And Craze came back, and he was like, oh, I was beat by a kid. Because back then, we didn't have YouTube, no live streaming or whatever. We had to get the message, like, through carrier pigeon by the time we found out that he lost. So A-Track beat him, but Craze came back, and he won it. And this is when he came back for the second time, and this was a piece of his winning set.
For Craze!
Yeah, come again. Stand back, I'm about to flip here. Brothers try their best, ain't even half as nice. Stand back, I'm about to flip here. Brothers try their best, ain't even half as nice. Stand back, I'm about to flip. They try to get slash shit, they try to get slash shit, they try to get slash shit. So I'm kicking ass this year. Me sound whack. Please, come on for that. Got this last shit, so I'm kicking ass this year. Me sound whack. Please, come on for that. Got this last shit,
it's a battle, so you're battling people.
So when you hear me,
it's raunchy.
To all the rest. To make it short, they might be good, but they ain't fucking with Craze. They ain't fucking with Craze, but they ain't fucking with Craze. They ain't fucking with Craze. They ain't fucking with Craze. To make it short, I'm crazy, stupid night. Here we go, it's the Grand Imperial.
It's all about dissing your opponents and stuff.
I sound different and my shit be hitting. Listen, pay attention.
Listen.
I was in a crew with. I was the only female, and I was also the newest DJ. So it was very intimidating for me, but I had to come correct. They wouldn't let me be the token girl, and I learned so much from these guys. I'll be forever grateful. So this is what Craze sounds like now.
I got the juice like that. Yeah. Yeah. I got the juice like that. Yeah. Yeah. There's levels to this shit, young boy. Change my name to the bitch that get it. Yeah. Yeah. There's levels to this shit, young boy.
Technology, but the same flavor. You guys see it, right? So he's amazing. And he's a drum and bass DJ, by the way. He plays drum and bass. Okay, moving on. Hubert.
I'm playing the turntable like a musical instrument. So it's it's more like like I'm speaking with my hands. Kind of connect my speech with my hand. So that's just what I'm doing there. I'm just kind of like, it's like a poetry, like poetry with scratching, like making it rhyme and making, composition, like you're a rapper, but with your hand.
So you hear the rhyming and the rhythms kind of question and answering each other, right? So definitely a musician, wouldn't you say? He's amazing. Amazing, amazing. Okay, so now. To be an album, and it's because there was a writer that we knew that wrote for a really popular magazine who got a hold of the tape and put it on his answering machine, and a record label exec called his
this writer's number, and he wasn't home, and he got it. And back then we had answering machines, not voicemail and all that. So he heard the message, which was this crazy audio of the scratching and stuff. He's like, "What is that? I need to release that on my label." And that's how this record got signed. It was on Bomb Records. It was our first release, my first time on record, and Bobby's first time on record. This is what it sounds like.
For all of you people that think you know about the sound that was out a long time ago, y'all don't know jack, no if or maybes. I was rocking in the park when your ass was a baby.
Everything's by hand.
You want it.
Like a wah pedal. It's just a scratch. Dope. Okay, so that was the first time. We didn't have computers. We personally didn't. And so that was our only way to make music, was to use the turntables. Incidentally, that was my husband's only way to play music, because he didn't have a musical instrument when he was growing up. His family was poor, but they had a turntable. So that was his foray into getting into music. Then we incorporated an SP1200. You guys know what an SP1200 is? It's that drum machine right there. It's a very iconic drum machine for hip hop. All the old school hip hop, a lot of it was made on that drum machine. This particular drum machine, this exact one, was Public Enemy's drum machine that we bought from Professor Griff. So Public Enemy's albums were made on this drum machine. We got really experimental with it and did an EP called Fathomless. It was Faust, Craze, and I. And it was also the first drum and bass turntablist song ever released. So this is us trying to make drum and bass with turntables. Do you hear it? Do you hear the drum and bass influence in there? Okay, so you get the idea. Moving on. Next one was my first solo album. That was called The Dreamer. And now, as you can see, we had a computer. That's a computer. It's a very big, large computer. This is a very organized studio, as you can see. And this is what I made The Dreamer on. I made The Dreamer on Acid, the software. Acid 1.0. So Sonic Foundry was the maker of it, and so this was my way of, and actually at the time I was going to school for 3D animation and graphic design. I wasn't going to school for music because my dad, like I said, was a composer, but he always had trouble with money. Sorry, Dad. And so I didn't want to be broke, so I went to school for graphics to have like a fallback, but in that I learned video editing, and video editing is the same as audio editing. It's just without pictures. So this is a little excerpt of one of the tracks on my first album. It's also the first female turntablist album ever. So it was produced all the beats on acid, the program, and it was a turntablist album because a lot of stuff I was doing by hand. It was the first turntablist album ever produced by a female, and also I should note that Faust's album Man or Myth was the first turntablist album ever in history. Okay, so it was a really, really big deal. Nothing had ever been released like that before. So then moving on out of the turntablist realm, we finally, now that we had a computer and we were working with software, we started having the ability to produce music that wasn't based on turntables. And that's just because we didn't have access to like the mixing boards and stuff like that, the big studios, you know, like of course people were making music without turntables at that time, but we didn't have that access. And so computers gave us that accessibility. So this was a few more of our albums. I started using this Korg keyboard, MS-2000. I also used a Korg Oasis PCI, which is like this sound card that you could put in, and it gave you all these, the ability to, it wasn't just like samples. It gave you the ability to like tweak like the breath on a trumpet, or you know, like the little nuances as if you were actually playing the instrument. Back then you couldn't really do that with software, so this was kind of groundbreaking. And it didn't really, most people didn't have that card, and it kind of just died. Like no one ever did anything with it because I think software just took over, and plugins and stuff made it much easier to be able to manipulate sound. So this was my first licensing gig. So licensing, when you license your music to film and television, you can make some money that way. And so this was one of the songs from Digital Soul, that album cover I just showed you. And it was for MTV Sports. It was a show that Tony Hawk did with them. You guys know Tony Hawk, skater, right? Okay, so then, what is this? Oh, so now we're moving on. So we've incorporated now Sonar, Cakewalk Sonar. This was an album I did. It was a first battle record for females. So a battle record is like a scratch record with sounds to scratch and beats to juggle and stuff like that for turntablists. But there was never anything for females. It was always male voices. So if you went to a DJ battle and battled, you know, you're trying to find records with female voices, but all the battle records that you could like, that made, it had all the samples collected already, made creating your routines easier. Nothing for females, but against, like you could use them against females. So my friend Step One and I created this album. So it was like there were tons of disses strong enough for a man but made for a woman, so that you could use them against males in a battle, but they couldn't be used against the females. It was all female voices, and it was in response to just like seeing females battle and seeing the guys just really hate on them and be really misogynistic and do really ugly things. And I'm not going to say it right now, all the things, but that's where why that album came to be. And it was also groundbreaking because it was the first and only. I don't think there is another one produced by females since. And then we got into FL Studio. So how many FL Studio people do we have in here? Right? It used to be Fruity Loops, freeware, right? And it got a bad rap because it was freeware, but it's actually a really substantial program now, as you can see. And that's what we produce a lot of our music on, and we produce this. We use, you know, a MIDI controller or whatever. And this is, so we were producing a lot of drum and bass at the time, and we were releasing on other labels in the UK, which is where you wanted to release them, but we kept getting this feedback of, you sound too American. You sound too American. We're like, we are American. Like, we can't really change that. And so we just kind of got tired of people trying to change our sound, so we started our own label, kind of like Joan Jett, right? From the very beginning, right? Okay, so this was the first release on our label, Heavy Artillery Recordings, and Urban Assault, which is Bobby and I. It's called Red Raider, and it hit #1 on, do you guys know Beatport? Beatport is like the iTunes for electronic dance music. It hit #1 on Beatport, which is a huge deal, like right away, and it sounds like this.
There was only one man, another major player to watch. The highest ranking person in the outlaw hierarchy. Codenamed Red Raider.
So that's all FL Studio. Sounds pretty dope, huh? You guys like it? Okay, so we were also producing Electro House. We got any house heads in here? Anyone like house music? A few? Okay, cool. So here's some Electro House release that we did. Also on our label, Heavy Artillery. This is like 2006, 2007. A little funky house song there. Okay, and then, okay, so now this is what we currently sound like. Our music. This is another one of our songs. This is a flyer that Bobby made. He did all the animation for this as well. Event that we played. All these are just photos.
You can find us on the streets where the killers belong. That sound boy get bombed if you look at us wrong.
So you're starting to see our brand really show through now. You're starting to see a lot more of the logo and stuff like that. And like I said, all this was done, but that video was made by Bobby, and he taught himself all the animation programs. I went to school for animation. He taught himself. So don't think that if for whatever reason you don't make it to Berkeley or whatever, don't think that your time is up. Like, you can definitely still follow your dreams and do what you want. Like I said, I didn't go to Berkeley, but if you can go to Berkeley, go to Berkeley. Okay. This is our latest release. We just released this. We made this video too.
There's an infinite universe on my retina display. Will you take the time to forget and sail away with me? What do you see in me? 'Cause I see everything in you. Lost up in the stars, but I might come down soon. Take me to my utopia, 'cause I've been here forever. Stuck down in the ground with your roots tangled together.
So that's what we sound like now. You guys like it? Good? Cool. Okay, cool. Thank you. So here's a little bit more about branding. Getting into the animation, starting to play with our logo, you know. So really start thinking about your brand as artists. You know, think about your logo, how you're presenting yourself, and try to be authentic to yourself as well. And we'll talk a little bit about that in a second. But this was a cool little nugget that Bobby made.
pretty cool, huh? That's dope. Oh wait, it's not done. I even forgot about that part. That's pretty cool. He modeled that whole thing. It's amazing. So again, think about your other passions other than music and see how they can help support your music, okay? See how we're using our other passions to support our music. Okay. Almost done. Label. Whoop. Record label. How many people are interested in starting their own label? Oh, good, good. You all should be, even if you don't sign on other musicians, you know, if it's just to put out your own music, because you have complete control, and now you totally have the ability to do that. I mean, you can do everything in-house. It's not like it was when we started, you know. You can do it all, and it's a really good way to learn, too, about the industry. So here's just some branding stuff that we did for the label. Again, just use this for inspiration, whether, you know, not just for a label, but for your artist stuff as well. So with Heavy Artillery, our logo is the 5 stars. And so we're just trying to use the stars in different ways, stuff like that. This one's cool, different vibe. Reminds me of Japanime a little bit. This one's dope. And then this one. A lot of different looks and stuff, but all similar. They're all cohesive. Okay, so this is our label so far to date. We've released over 400 releases, thousands of tracks, and we have over 400 artists on our label. All these graphics were done by us. All the mixing, mastering, everything's done in-house. We are one of the very few labels that don't charge for mixing, mastering, or graphics. We probably should. But yeah, so all of this is Heavy Artillery, and we started the label in 2006. And so this just shows you like what you're capable of. You know, you are what you make of it. This is one of our artists, Arcasia. Live performance or whatever. He's classically trained as well. You can hear his training, can't you? He's also a drummer, obviously. He's amazing. That's Arcasia. He's from France. And here's an example of a licensing opportunity that we got for Arcasia. Have you guys seen Elysium? It's a movie, Elysium, with Jodie Foster and Matt Damon.
Allez, au travail, Monsieur Carlyle.
This is Arcasia.
This is the guy. Here's the guy. This is him. Sit down. We're gonna cut you up good on it. Play nice, amigo. Play nice. Let's get him an ID first.
The chief wanted my identification code.
Wait, esta aquí.
Get that ready. I'm up. And merge it with the DNA. Now you fit in, like you were born there.
Oye, pásame el otro.
Now it's time for the real fun.
Ok, vamos. Limpiar. Sí. Muévelo allá. Jálamelo para acá. Aquí. Eso. Primero.
Hey, man. Yeah. Is this gonna hurt?
It hurt. And that shows you a way that it doesn't have to be a theme song, obviously. It could be background music. They made it so it sounded like it was playing in the radio in the background, and that paid a lot of money. This is another artist of ours, Masher. I played some of his music earlier as well. Bobby made this video also.
That's right.
The song's called Presets. He's from Russia. So we have a lot of international artists, France, Russia, a lot of Europeans. Okay, educator. How many people want to teach in here? Anyone want to be a teacher? You should all teach at least one person because it's going to make you a better artist. Okay? Teaching makes you a better musician. You'll learn from your students whether you want to be an educator or not. You may not think of wanting to be a teacher now. You're like, no, I have my own dreams. I want to do what I want to do. But think about it in the future, especially in terms of developing your art, because having to break something down and then teach it to someone else, like you know your process or whatever, but it really gets you integrated in your process and you perfect it more. And this is a theme that has kind of gone through my whole career, which is start before you're ready. Okay, this is something that a business coach of mine, Marie Forleo, that I follow, she says, start before you're ready. So do you guys ever feel like, oh, I want to do this thing, but I'm not ready yet. I'm just not ready yet. Or like, I'm working on this track, but it's just not ready yet. You know, how many tracks are sitting on your hard drives right now that aren't ready yet? You know, like, oh, you got to tweak one more thing. There's hundreds of tracks, thousands on ours that have never seen the light of day, and we go back, we're like, why didn't we release that? You know, so you're just holding back. Start before you're ready because you're going to learn, even if you fail, you're going to learn from your failures. This isn't a failure, but you'll see what I mean. I was not ready to make a DJ instructional video. We didn't have any good camera equipment or anything. This was 1999. It was the first DJ instructional video ever released. There was no YouTube, there was no DJ classes or anything like that. And I wanted to make it because I wanted something like that, and I felt there was a void in the market, and we were also broke and we needed money, and I was like, oh, this will be a cool way to make some money. I'll make a DJ video, teach people how to DJ. Was not ready, but it started the process.
All right, kids, I want you to gather around close now.
I'm being very vulnerable here, sharing this with you.
Special.
High-end graphics, right? Welcome to Shortee's DJ 101. I'm Shortee, and today we're going to learn how to DJ. This video is broken up into 4 sections: equipment, mixing, scratching, and beat juggling. Now let's get started.
Clearly needed to work on my on-camera skills.
Hi. Now we're going to talk about scratching.
Okay, so I taught people how to make scratch and beat
First, we're
juggle in
gonna
this
go
video.
through some-
I actually sold hundreds of those videos. It actually made us a lot of money, which was and it was a great opportunity because it helped me start to develop a curriculum, right? And then we actually got with a film producer because back then we couldn't film, we didn't have the capability to obviously film our own stuff well or edit it. And this is before I went to art school, or I was in art school at the time. Anyway, this was the DVD, so we refilmed the DJ
Well,
101.
hello, kids. We got a lot of kids visiting with us here today, and we're going to be having a good.
So this is like 2000.
Aren't we, kids?
2001.
Aren't we? Sure we are. We're going to be having a great time. All right, kids, I want you to gather around close now. I want to tell you something very, very special.
I did all the audio for this, all the sound design, everything like that.
Because Shortee
Shortee. Like to with me?
Sure you do. Certainly you do.
Good, you know, you can learn.
mixing and scratching and beat
juggle
with the turntable split and the mixer in the middle.
But first, we'll discuss
the mixer and the 12.
Boom, that was dope.
Yeah, okay, all right. Well, no, wait just a moment. We're ready to go now. Here we go.
So it would have lessons on.
First, we're going to talk about
equipment, mixing, scratching, and beat juggling. So then I started teaching when we moved to LA. I started teaching at the Scratch DJ Academy, and that's where I really got to develop my curriculum with my classes. And here's some of my first students. They're all. This is like 2005. They're all like popular DJs now. They're traveling the world. And the Scratch DJ Academy was founded by Jam Master Jay, so of Run DMC, rest in peace. So you can kind of see that influence coming full circle there. This is what it's ended up as. This is my current online DJ instructional series, Shortee's Complete DJ Method. So I started before I was ready, right? But it led to this, and I learned from all those experiences. So this has, it's available now online. It teaches you how to mix, scratch, and beat juggle on all sorts of different types of equipment. So whether it be DJ controller, CDJs, turntables, and you can get in your track. You like pick your poison, you pick your gear, right? And you go down that track and you learn the skills. So we kind of upgraded the production quality, as you can see. But yeah, so this is pretty dope. But I couldn't have done any of this without the experiences that I had, teaching and growing and stuff. So, and also through the Scratch DJ Academy, I developed some worksheets as I was developing my curriculum. So I started to write, and I did this when I was learning scratching too, so I could remember the patterns. Back when DJ Faust was teaching me, he taught me the basics of mixing and scratching and beat juggling. And so I couldn't remember the patterns though, and he didn't know music theory, so I wrote it down in musical notation and then made these little symbols. And doing that through my learning process, then I applied it to teaching other people. And so now, I have all these little symbols for all the scratches and these little worksheets and stuff, and they help my students visualize rather than just hear and do. Because some people learn all different ways, and so that was really helpful to me. And as a teacher, to go through that. So as an artist, you can also be an influencer. This is my first clothing endorsement. Clearly, they didn't know who they were sending clothes to. But I appreciated it. Those are pants. Just, but yeah. But I've been endorsed by almost every DJ equipment company and some pretty cool clothing companies. But one of my favorite endorsements is Serato, which is a DJ software, and Rain, which is my favorite mixer that I use. This was an ad that we did. I'm way at the top. Bobby's right here. I'm right there. There's some iconic DJs in here as well. So, and then, you know, just gives you an idea of the branding, how you can incorporate your brand. Like, I'm fun, outgoing, right? So I try to incorporate that in whatever I'm doing. Whereas Arcasia, you saw his video, he doesn't like to be seen. He likes to be in the background and mysterious and incognito, right? And so that's his brand. So did you see that, like, in his video and the difference between what I'm showing you? As long as you don't have to try to be outgoing if you're not outgoing. Just be authentic to your brand and bring it into what you do. People will be drawn to you when you're authentic, right? Bless you. So, what is this? Oh, so here is a routine. So people hire us to do routines and stuff to showcase their gear. So here's an example of that.
Activate dance mode countdown.
And also an example of how we perform together.
This is the Urban Assault.
Branding on the record. See it?
To the next level. Welcome to the next level.
You, the people, have the power. Let us use that power. Let us all unite. Let us all unite.
So basically our goal is to showcase every single feature on the gear, because this is for the company. the software, just so you know. So it's not just in the mixer. And we usually play on 4 turntables with 2 mixers. We're not all up in each other's grill like this. But this was a fun exercise. Branding, again. If you don't get anything from this talk, at least get the branding thing. Yeah, you can applaud. That was dope. Okay, so yeah, so I've done a lot of stuff. I played at you guys know the NAMM show? The NAMM show, it's a huge convention in Anaheim, California, where all the music companies go to showcase their new gear. It's very awkward. It's like a wall of mostly dudes. Just on staring at you. I don't know why it was mostly dudes there, because there are females there. But yeah, and you're usually showcasing like new equipment that's in beta. Not all the features work right, so you're just like hoping that it works correctly. This is when Rain debuted their 12 controllers, the Rain 12s, which are like controllers that are like turntables, the most like turntables, but there's no needle or anything like that. And they also debuted this mixer at that, and you never know what's going to happen. It could crash, it could do whatever, and you as the artist, it's your reputation on the line, and it's the brand, the company's reputation on the line, so you got to at least like just grin and bear it as you go through. But so they hire you, they can hire you to do like unboxing videos, stuff like that. It helps, so my acting plays into this, on-camera skills, stuff like that. So that's an example of that. I'm just zooming through stuff right now because I just want to get to the end, which is actor. So all up until now, it's all been music related. But all my music and on-camera stuff with music has helped me in my acting career. And I just want to show you kind of how they merge together. So that was my first headshot. Now it's like current headshot and new skill. No, not martial arts. I got DJing, right? This is my a little reel I cut together with some scenes, and you'll kind of see the brand, right? A little bit. Not Shortee, though, right? But similar.
I know. I'm super late, Mr. Larkin. It's just that my kitten was having a really cute moment, and I was trying to film it so I could put it on YouTube. You're my brother.
Cat lady.
But I can't protect you if I don't know what you know. So you better start talking. Dr. Carney. You have to do this surgery. You're the only one qualified. Hopefully the generators will be on soon, but if you don't operate now, this man will die. Look, Dave, I think it's totally cool that you dance naked in your bedroom to African calypso music. If you could just stick to the order, mister, that would be great. I don't need to know why you can't have regular mayo or how many heart attacks you've had. I just want to do my job and get out of here. Comprendo? Next.
I got dreams, Dad.
What's that? He's wearing a wig.
No.
The people in this business.
So comedy, little fun, cute cat lady, it's all in there. And then, so here is another, this is a web series called Horse. Homeowners Association Regency Supreme. HOARS, right? It's about a homeowners association. And if you've ever been a member of a homeowners association, sometimes you can be pulling your hair out. And so you have to go to these meetings and fight for what you want in your apartment complex or your home, your neighborhood or whatever. And so this was a web series that was styled kind of like The Office. So that kind of style, and I did all the sound design for this too. And there was a guitarist as well, and so I worked with the musician, and you'll hear the scratching throughout, but it's not about DJing, okay? And you'll also see some cats.
$300.
But I just put the bottles aside so I could take them somewhere.
I was a doctor.
I know you did, but the fact that you had something outside your house that looks like trash warrants a fine.
But it was just 5 minutes!
This is my point about recycling, guys.
We need blue bins.
I just think it would be too confusing.
Nope.
See how amazing life can be.
Cool.
My cat is missing.
This is very confusing for us. We don't allow innuendos. Just name it.
My cat, she's missing.
This is an ongoing problem for us, you see. We don't have any official language about how we feel about missing cats.
For all we know, she's just missing.
That's what I said.
Yes.
So cats, we don't know where they went.
No.
Good.
Good.
Well, I just mean,
What did you say about cats?
cats.
How many cats does one cow make?
What is wrong with you?
Felt really good.
We're not dead.
The cats are dead.
Oh no, not on the agenda. Plaques, only plaques.
Wait, you actually have language for these things?
Yes, for that. And also very strong language about multicolored Christmas lights. You'd be amazed.
Nice movie.
Hi.
My name's Paul. Oh.
That's Diva Zappa, by the way.
You guys are never gonna deal with the issue of the missing cats, are you? I'm not the only one, you know.
Yeah, I think we can totally fit it into the next meeting. That's totally possible. Shit.
Excuse me?
I think your cats are about to take a back seat. Yeah. Yeah, Bob is gonna lose his mind about these multicolored Christmas lights. Especially the red ones. Oh, this is gonna be a disaster.
But like he specifically has a problem with the red ones?
Oh yeah.
I don't know how this could get any worse. In the first place, we're having a Christmas party in
January. And you're concerned about my appliances.
Yes!
Hey, wow!
What kind of a sick joke is this?
We have a clause.
Yeah, the over manual.
We don't use that manual. Unless I say we use that manual.
Who's Manuel?
The cat.
Shut up.
That's my cat Ninja, by the way. So that's horrors. And then the very last thing I'm going to show you today, there's just one more thing. Did you see the guy with the beard in those scenes? Because of that, he hooked me up with this director who also knew me as a DJ. So you're seeing how it's threading in, like the different careers are threading in. Who booked me to play this role, of which I won an award for, which I wasn't expecting at all. Outstanding Acting Performance Award, and it's a horror film, or like a thriller.
Around what time was this? 10 p.m. And you haven't heard from her since? Can you please call everyone you were with and call me back and let me know?
Hush, little baby, don't say a word. Papa gonna buy you a mockingbird. And if that mockingbird shall die, Papa gonna make you close your eyes.
I'm going to the police. This is not like her. It's past midnight. She should be home by now. Please, just call me back. Thank you.
Good morning, Ms. Wright.
Good morning.
I'm Detective Jones, and this is my partner, Detective Bradford. We're here to talk to you about your daughter, ma'am.
Yes,
checked your phone for any messages? You were the last person that she called.
I did. It was just static and noise. I didn't know what it was. So I assumed she accidentally called me.
Do you still have the message?
I don't believe so. I deleted it. Damn.
Is the father involved in any decision making?
I'm her father and her mother. I'm all she's ever known. I was her age, 17, when I had her. She is everything to me.
We'll try to do everything possible. Please, don't do anything without clearing it with us. Here's our information. Keep in touch.
Be in touch.
So, as you can see, totally off base for music, right? But I wouldn't have gotten that opportunity without the music aspect and intertwining. So I hope that thank you for being patient, by the way, through all the video trouble and everything. And I know I see you guys yawning and it was a long presentation. But I just want to thank you guys for staying attentive. And I really hope that you are gaining at least some sort of inspiration or some sort of information from this that you can carry through to your careers on your own careers, so that you can see how all your passions intertwine, that it doesn't just have to be the one thing, and that you should start before you're ready, because otherwise you may never start, and learn from your failures. Look at your failures as lessons rather than failures. Stop beating yourself up about it. I know as artists we're really fragile, especially when you get haters, right? Haters hating on your music, wanting to talk smack, especially online, anonymously. Choose who you listen to. You get to choose who you listen to. Those people aren't doing. And if they are doing, they're just jealous. You choose the people that you care about. Those are the people that you listen to, your instructors, the people that you learn from, and the people that you respect. Those are the people that you want constructive criticism from. But don't let anybody tell you that you're not good or whatever like that, and let that hinder you, because that has affected me throughout my life, and I had to learn that later in life. And I clearly persevered, and I've had a career, and it's still going. I'm not dead yet, but I'm just saying, I just wanted to leave you guys with that, because I feel as artists, we're all kind of fragile in that way. We're all vulnerable. You're sharing your vulnerability. I was just super vulnerable up here, sharing you all my stuff, and some not so pretty, you know what I mean? But I hope you can see the full range, and I really just want you guys to take that with you, and I wish you the best of luck on your choices and whatever you do with your career, and I know you guys are all going to go far, whether you come to Berkeley or not, but try to go to Berkeley, because it's really awesome. And I hope you guys really had an awesome time this weekend. And I really, really just want to thank Berkeley again, Dan and Rob and Reggie. Thank you for saving the video. And just give it up for yourselves, because you guys are awesome. So if you want to catch up with me, hit me up. My website is djshortee.com. That's Shortee with 2 E's. And my email is on there. You can email me. I'll write you back. It goes directly to me. Feel free to hit me up. I'd love to hear from you and check in with me. Let me know how you're doing. But I hope you guys have fun. Did you guys have fun? Yeah. All right, cool. Thank you guys. Give it up for Berkeley. Woohoo!
Give it up for Shortee!
Thank you.
Love you. That was awesome.
Thanks.
Awesome. Thank you very much, guys. We've had an awesome weekend with you. I hope you, as Shortee says, stay in touch. Let us know what's going on. If you come to Berkeley, if you have intentions, hit us up, give you some information. Tony has the certificates of completion, and we've got some USB drives over there, some music you can take with. Safe travels, and thank you again.